Consider the woman of worth in Proverbs 31. She's a mother, a wife, a shrewd businesswoman, a kind and loving leader in her community. She weaves, she spins, she sews, she serves her family and those in need. Yeah, we know she gets up before dawn, but my goodness, how does she do all this? I'm Melanie Rigney, the author of Woman of Worth, Prayers and Reflections for Women, inspired by the Book of Proverbs. The woman of worth has been seen as an almost impossible standard for centuries. We regard her as the same today, and yet there are bits and pieces of her in all of us. In these videos, I'll take a brief look at the verses in Proverbs 31 and explain how we can become closer to the Lord by following her example. Her husband is prominent at the city gates as he sits with the elders of the land. Proverbs 31:23 tells us. In ancient times, city gates weren't just for protection and monitoring who came in and who went out, although they certainly served that purpose. In peacetime, the gates were also a sort of city hall and courthouse. Those involved weren't formally elected, nor were they paid bureaucrats. Rather, they were the community's wise men, those respected by their peers. That the woman of worth's husband was among that group speaks volumes about him and about their relationship. This is the only verse in our study with no direct extolling of the woman of worth's virtues. And perhaps it's fitting that there is one. This is a verse of support and self-interest. Like the woman of worth, we know we serve God, not the other way around. We desire that through our efforts, He might be embraced by others. We surrender our self-interest at the altar and sublimate our desires to the plan the Lord has for us. Discerning the Lord's plan can be challenging, especially when we let our egos and self-doubts, for they are really two sides of the same coin, get in the way. We have a desire, secret or otherwise, for public attention, and He calls us to the cloister instead. We are total introverts, and He calls us to be teachers. We are uncomfortable around sick people, and we find ourselves as caregivers. Difficult? Absolutely. Such situations require us to pick up our cross daily and follow. Like John the Baptist, we must decrease our self-centeredness so that His presence within us can increase. To learn more about embracing God and the woman of worth He sees in you, please check out the other videos in this series, or consider buying Woman of Worth, Prayers and Reflections for Women inspired by the Book of Proverbs, at your favorite local or online bookstore, or at www.23rdpublications.com.